For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated. More often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.
What a ripper of a game. There's nothing else to say. We killed it. Done. Game 1 over. On to game 2. Let's do it.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed,
No, we're back. There's plenty more to say. This is going to be a great one. Welcome to the ET Stand Podcast, the Sharks fans podcast where we let our talking do the football. We're in all the usual places: YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you guys want us to be. If we aren't there, let us know and we'll try and get there. While listening, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps with everything we do. After a win like that, we expect plenty of likes, plenty of subscribes. Oh my goodness. There's also a Discord channel where fans can chat Sharks anytime they like. The link is in the chat and it's down the bottom as well. Also, don't forget about Super Chats. Today might be a day you want to throw a Super Chat out there. They're there. They help the channel and will certainly get us to focus on whatever you want to talk about. What a game. 3 tries to 2 with Nico nailing every conversion, including a penalty goal. Wonderful, wonderful effort from the boys. We've got Boldo just chomping at the bit to jump in here from the green room. So let's bring him in, mate. Welcome, Boldo. How are you, matey?
Oh, what a night at Shark Park, Franko. I've lost my voice and I'm just sitting down and just entertained to see you getting the ball rolling on the ET Stand Podcast. Can I just say, one of the certainly more memorable moments at Shark Park, 20 points to 10. I tell you what, when they took the penalty goal and then Nico dropped the ball, I thought, goodness me, my dear friend Franko is going to absolutely tear me a new one here and say everything that I always say. But look, we're proven to be right in the end with that. Just some brilliant, resilient defense. I thought Nico was great. So we'll get into talking to that. But yeah, let's hit to it. Let's have your say. And then don't forget Solve Accounting is our sponsor of the debrief. So they get one more sponsorship for at least one more week, don't they, Franko?
Sure
Count them
do.
up. 3 weeks to go.
That's all we got to do. 3 wins. Look, you're right. I was absolutely ready to blast you over taking the 2, and maybe I still will. History will show we won the game. Who knows? Hypotheticals and all that. But oh gosh, when Nico dropped that ball and coming out of our own end, oh, you knew I was thinking about you and the bloody 2. But you know what? To be honest, I would have also taken the 2. It puts us out of penalty goal range, which was very much a risk. So,
and they got a penalty and would have done it.
Yeah,
they would have
correct.
Done it, so.
They would have done it. So,
what did you do? Get it in the comments. Get it in the comments. What do you think about the 2? Did we mention the displayware comp for best comment? We haven't mentioned that.
We didn't, but it's running across the bottom of the screen
there. Best comment. Whoever's the funniest gets to go in the draw for that comp. So. Oh, goodness.
Doesn't have to be the funniest, but it generally is the funniest.
Well, or the most pointed, or the best information, or anything that keeps us honest. Can I just also say to anyone that said g'day to me in the Peter Burns stand tonight, and anyone who gave me a hug, a cuddle, I just love all of you beautiful human beings. It's just such a cool, fun thing that Franko and I get to do, is host this podcast and meet a whole bunch of like-minded Sharks fans. So moments and nights like these certainly make it worthwhile. So let's get into it, Franko. Let's go through the comments. Good. Franko's, and I'm letting Franko's even in the driver's seat. This is so good. Let's go, baby.
It means I get to ask you all the good questions, doesn't it? Look, we had a double to Ronaldo, one in the 34th minute and 39th minute to close out the first half. Very exciting stuff. We then had Toby Rudolph there towards the end of the second half, barnstorming short ball from Brayley, which was great crash over. As I mentioned, Nico Hines converting all tries, plus the penalty goal, which I think given the usually excellent goal kicker in Sam Walker missing one, really helped put scoreboard pressure on the Roosters for that match. So that was really well done by Nico, and I think the team really appreciated getting in front. Marky Mark did score one. There was a lot of talk about Marky Mark. He scored one there early on, first try. But ultimately, that was all he was able to do. He had some good touches, certainly was dangerous and threatening through most of that match. But I'd like to say that that we sort of handled him pretty well. And Angus Crichton also got through with a nice little grubber from Sam Walker. Now that I guess that was a bit of heads-up play with Kennedy up in the line. Surprised they didn't do that a little bit more often, to be honest, after that. But maybe they weren't really in a position to do so and take advantage of that a second time. I'd say mad props needs to go to Katoa. His wing was targeted a couple of times with nice high kicks to Tupou's wing. And he was able to diffuse them really well. He was on point and able to get us out of danger there a couple of times. So for all the stress and the worry that I know we certainly had, our wingers handled the Roosters wingers pretty well for that match.
They were good, the Roosters wingers, Franko. Goodness me.
Absolutely.
They just don't look like they are ever going to drop the ball when we kick to them. And so you just see them put the kicking game up. And whilst some people might say the kicking game of the Sharks was a little bit off tonight, I actually think the pressure on the kicker from the Roosters and also the distribution to Nico and Trindle wasn't as good as it could have been at times, which put additional pressure on them. I actually thought overall the kicking game was quite good from those two.
Yeah,
but it's difficult to get an error out of the Marky Mark and Tupou, isn't it?
Yeah, they are sublime under the high ball, whether it's in defence or attack. And surprisingly, we did do that a few times on the offence, which was a bit, like I said, we know they're so good in the air, so maybe we should try something else. Eventually, we got the memo and started a few other things, started running the ball, a few inside plays, maybe a few too many. But hey, that short ball to Rudolph, while he still had a lot of work to do, I think caught a few people off guard. I think they were expecting the wide play there, so that was really well done. I think you're right on kicking. Look, I was ready to have words about Nico's kicking game. His kicking game was just a bit.
There were some
pedestrian.
good kicks.
No, well, that's what I was going to say. It was a bit pedestrian. It was a bit short. There weren't really any penetrating kicks, and it was straight to a fielder. Didn't really get much depth, and allowed them to get back on the attack pretty quick. That said, as the game wore on, his kicks got longer and longer. He warmed up those hammies and those calves, and he put in the bigger kicks, and that was welcome by the time that happened. I was ready to say, if we're in our own half, Trindle should get exclusive kicking rights. But by the end of the game,
we did. Yeah, we noticed that at the game that it seemed like Hines was the primary kicker, and that's terrific. There was the terrific torpedo bomb that Trindle did. Geez, that was an absolute ripper. That had rain on it. So
yeah.
But yeah, goodness me, Franko, the Sharkies, we all yep.
Were there doubters? Put in the comments if you thought we had this before kickoff.
There certainly were doubters.
I got inundated with messages before this game with a lot of nervous fans, worried about what was going to happen. But also, I think there was a bit of hope, a bit of belief that after the Bulldogs game that we could turn up and we could do a game. But you know who didn't have belief? Boldo, do you know who didn't have belief? And I give you this one since you were at the game.
Who?
Anyone on the Fox Sports coverage. Wowee, did they want the
There's a
Roosters
few
to win?
comments on this, didn't they?
gosh.
Dan Fitz points it out. The Fox League panel was so biased and pro-Roosters, even my wife asked if she could switch to the Sharks commentary. Reelings. And then Robocop confirming no one gave us a chance. Who was on the Fox commentary?
So commentary wasn't so bad, to be fair. It was Vossi, it was the panel, the studio panel that was particularly bad. It was Vossi, Brandy, and Walters. Walters was probably the most pro Rooster out of the two of them. Brandy's, I wouldn't say was pro Roosters, but was also
He doesn't love the Sharks, Brandy.
doesn't love the Sharks, and we know that. And Vossi was Vossi. I thought he was
Vossi's
the
fine.
usual. Yeah. But yeah, the panel on the in the desk with Kronk and
Meninga.
Asta.
Was it Meninga?
Meninga, thank you. Yeah,
Yep.
and Foreign. So they were very pro Roosters, and
Even at halftime.
even at halftime. So much so at halftime, they were calling that the try scored at the bell with the Walker drop. And now, look, I'm not going to stand up for ourselves and say that it was clean because I'd need to see a few more replays. But from the replays I saw, I certainly didn't see what an Asta saw, which was a knock on from Ramian.
So they were right not to score there. So Chris Kelly has been banging on about not scoring so that it gets called back. And do you think they actually chose not to score on purpose?
No, they bombed it.
They're not that smart. You're giving them too much credit.
They're not that smart. They bombed it. But there were certainly calls from the desk that it was a knock on that Ramian played at the ball.
Well, Braden Asta loves the damn Roosters, doesn't he?
Of course he does. Ex-Rooster player. We shouldn't expect anything else. If anything, I'd hope that Ennis was more Sharks biased than he is. But, you know, it's one of those things where the few angles that I saw, the few replays, I didn't see it. I'd looked for it, especially after an Asta was calling it, and Walker threw his arms up in the air instead of, you know, diverting to the tackle. So he thought something was up. But, you know, it was one of those weird things where, and I know two wrongs don't make a right, but he was hanging on to two jerseys. So a player without the ball was hanging on to them. So there should have been some sort of penalty there.
It was a fortunate moment for us. It did.
Absolutely.
But to credit to us, like you saw the play developing on the right-hand side, shifting to the left. And I don't know, I just have this confidence in Ronaldo when you're like, all right, yeah, we're on here. We can score. Just the looping pass from Trindle to Ronaldo. You're like, oh, yeah, Ronaldo is going to get us home here. So it was a big moment for us being up by 12 points to 4 at halftime. Yeah. That was... I
don't want to talk him up too much because we all know I love Talakai anyway. But the big moment in that play... the big moment in that play was he threw a long ball to Trindle to then allow Trindle to get it out to Mulatalo. And it's one of those things where I obviously haven't seen it from Colquhoun. I don't know whether Colquhoun has a long ball like that. And
no, he doesn't have the hands that Talakai's got.
We haven't seen McInnes throw a nice good ball like that at that distance for a long time. So the fact that Talakai was there playing lock, the right place, right time, he was able to facilitate to Trindle to get that try assist. So we wouldn't have been able to get basically, you know, 2 passes wide and take advantage of that. So that was really, really good stuff. I thought that absolutely opportunistic, absolutely, but you've got to make the most of your opportunities, and we did that in that scenario.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good once we got to halftime at 12-4, and then kind of just the way that the substitutions were working. I just felt as long as we could be ahead by the time that Fanua Blake came back on, then we would be able to hold on and win, which is ultimately what happened. Now, they got the try with Talakai and Ueli were starting to get gassed. And so I don't know if it really presented as much on the TV. However, when you saw Fanua Blake and Nikora came on, they just suddenly were muscling up in attack and the 3 men in the tackle and getting back and pushing the Roosters back and better line speed. And it wasn't just the impact of those two. It was also how they lifted the players around them. And I thought Nikora as a middle was rather an inspired choice. And that actually worked out for us in the end. Maybe you could have pulled the trigger on bringing him on earlier. He was actually, I think he was better than Fitzy was expecting, but he was good in the middle. I thought basically Nicker is just a good footballer. He'd be a good fullback, halfback, bloody anything.
Kafusi was one of the other ones that was gassed, but we've known he's been out for a while and he's had limited minutes. So he was pretty good definitely, too. He was very good.
At the start, he was good.
He was working really hard, harder than we've seen in months, really. And I reckon this was one of those instructions from the coach where we're going to get you out there. We're going to leave you out there for, and I'll look up some stats in a minute, I guess, but we're going to leave you out there for however long. And I want you to go 100 miles an hour and just absolutely run yourself ragged. And then we'll pull you off, and that's the game done for you. And he did that. He was really impressive there for most of his stint. I think that, Shane there said Cronk can dribble. He sure can. I think that initially Burns went to lock when Nickera came on. So there was a moment there with Burns.
Like a hot second. That didn't happen for long, though, did it?
Wasn't very long, but it was maybe a couple of sets. And at that point, it was pretty evident that Nickera was injecting a lot of energy.
He needed to come into the middle of the field, didn't he? Because if he was just going to come on as a replacement second rower and out wide, then he wasn't going to have the impact. So he went and did that. So what the try for the Roosters to get them back into it, the kick, Kennedy was out of position, was he? Or was he caught in the line?
He was caught in the line, and the kick was early. So arguable whether or not that it was a good kick, and it's one of those scenarios where, again, probably either it's on the tip sheet or it's eyes up footy, where Kennedy was kind of defending in the line for a fair chunk there. It's just we needed bodies in the line to defend against the Roosters. They've got a lot of good tackle breaks, a lot of good offloads.
Yep.
So that was the game plan, right? So whether he was out of position or whether he was instructed to be in the line, I'd say I'd probably give him benefit of the doubt. But it should have.
It was good play from them. You can't stop.
It was really good. It was really good. I think it was off his left foot as well. So it was a skillful play. You knew that Kennedy was feeling it, though. He was to the point where he nearly gave away a penalty try. He sort of grabbed a hold of Crichton before he got to the ball even, and then sort of realised it, let go, and then sort of fell on him. If Crichton had milked that or fumbled the ball, it could have been
and a bloody penalty try. Probably
an extra, try. So so he knew it. He knew that he was dirty about that, and almost gave it away in that sense. But it was good that we didn't really give an opportunity to test that again, right? Other than that, look, Kennedy was safe under the high ball. He had some good runs. There was a couple of moments there where I wanted him to take the line on instead of looking for another runner. But look, I get that. That was a pretty physical game, and he was getting belted a fair bit. So
the Sharks are a bit unlucky not to get a try or two. They had the one that was ruled for the forward pass, which I thought on the ground looked a bit tough.
At first look, I thought it was tough, but on replay, it was definitely forward.
And then, look, they were certainly peppering them, and the Roosters defence held us pretty well.
The interesting thing, though, on that forward pass, though, Boldo might not have seen it at the ground, was that Iro knocked the ball on and did a double movement in trying to get to the line. So even if it was a good ball, we would have lost it anyway. I think Iro may not have.
I think Iro knew that it wasn't a try anyway.
Maybe. But I think at that stage we were. And look, it's hard to say because that was early in the tackle game. It was like tackle 2 or something, and we blew a good opportunity at their line. But at that stage, we were willing to, I think, lose the ball close to their line instead of giving away 7 tackles, or instead
which is the correct move. I thought the correct move. Now let's get it in the comments. Then the Sharks get the penalty, 12-10 up. So get it in the comments. Give us a Y if you think taking the 2 points was a good idea, and give us an N if you think it was a bad idea. So at this point in time, 12-10. Sharks are up. They take the 2 points. Do you think that was a bad idea, or were you pleased that they did it? Even I was second guessing. I'm like, and the lovely guy next to me, who was an absolute legend. I actually saw his family in Las Vegas. He was like, no, stick the half of the core, take the 2. So, Franko, your thoughts?
You know, I'm anti-2. We were under the pump for a significant portion of that, the beginning stanza of that second half. We'd finally got some field position. It would have been very tempting to continue to try and put pressure on them, give you guys a bit more of a breather instead of going back into your own half. But at only 2 points, the risk is, as we mentioned earlier, far too great to leave us exposed to a simple penalty and allow the Roosters to take the penalty and square up the scoreboard. So taking the 2 was the right call. It takes that out of the equation. And then from there,
3-3 at the moment, guys. 3-3 at the moment to take the 2. So, but Nico shouldn't drop the ball. It was a foolhardy run forward. And so then what happens is that the Roosters then get a penalty, right? And because we're ahead by 4 rather than 2, they can't take the 2. 2.0 can hear me from his house screaming for the 2. This is true. Goodness me. So, look, they didn't make too many mistakes, the Sharks. So you got to say, don't drop the ball when you're hitting it up. But the Sharks could easily drop the ball when they're hitting it up.
So, we had less possession. We were, as far as field position is concerned, we had less opportunity.
Had less everything.
We pretty much, look, we were under the pump that match, and I will say that the Roosters gifted us a fair few opportunities through errors and poor play. A more disciplined Roosters might have cruelled us. So it wasn't all us. But arguments can be made that we put pressure on them, and that's where the errors came from.
That's what I reckon.
And it's a valid comment, right? If you've just been running around for 80 minutes, you're one of the Sharks players, one of the 17 on the field, I think you'd want to claim that as well, right? Because you're in the faces of the Roosters players fairly consistently there. Pretty heavy contact. So I'm willing to give that, but there were certainly a lot of errors from the Roosters, definitely in that second half, in a couple of moments as well where we were under the pump, we were under pressure, and they just had these pressure relieving moments of dropped ball or forward pass or whatever, and it was a moment of relief from me as a fan. I can only imagine.
The moment of relief was Toby Rudolph scoring, wasn't it, Franko? Oh. Goodness me. I was so pleased for him that he was able to get. And look, the thing is with the Sharks now is that whenever a forward scores a try like that, if they've played well and you think that deserve it, it just brings back memories of Andrew Fafita. And I'm so pleased that for Toby Rudolph that he has that positive thoughts and energy just given to him from the Sharks fans. I was really, really pleased for him and thought he deserved it. And it was a clinching moment for the Sharks. And then, look, me, I'd like to call it when I see it. It was game over from then on with 3 minutes to go. Even the Sharks couldn't lose from there. And then, the Sharkies held on and then, it was a spirited up Cronulla at Shark Park, Franko, after that match. There were cuddles. I actually got a bang nose from the guy named Jimmy in front of me who I met tonight. Shout out to you, Jimmy. You are an absolute legend. His girlfriend was very sweet, laughing about getting his ears screamed off in front of me. So it was one of the more special. There's something different about finals football, Franko.
So finals football at Shark Park is a winner, you're saying? Is that what I'm hearing?
I wasn't thinking that at 4-0, but at the end I was pretty pleased. It's amazing how also just you get those swings and roundabouts where you think, all right, well, we played the Cowboys and lost to them, and then we played them a couple of years later and then beat them, and then we play the Roosters a couple of years later and beat them as well. So look, hopefully we can get the match up against Brisbane. Maybe we should hit through some of these comments, Franko. We've been ignoring everyone. We're too excited.
There. There's plenty there.
Oh, isn't there? All right, let's go through them. Why don't I hit through them, Franko, and you can go look at the stats and pick out anything. We'll divide and conquer. Does that work, or do you want to provide a commentary?
I'll have a listen. I'll have an ear on, and if I
All
hear
right,
something
sweet.
that I want to talk about,
All
I'll
right, sounds
pipe up.
good. Craig Gearin in the comments. G'day, Craig. That was even better than last week in the performance of the year. Tommy says, you. Let's do this. 2.0, citing that we held on to a finals lead at home. What is happening? We did hold on to a lead. That was pretty good. Craig calls out in the comments, who needs state of origin players when you have Toby Rudolph? That is true. We was in pretty good form.
I mean, I will admit, screaming at the TV about, no, don't give that to Rudolph when it happened. Because at that point we had done a fair few crash tackle plays, and I was like, oh my gosh, another one, no, on the 5th. But Toby Rudolph, man.
Well, yeah, the crash plays, and they also just want to get tackled that close to the line so they don't have to give up the extra sets, don't they? Brad Lewis says in the comments, how good it was shutting up the blokes on the Fox League panel. Whinged about our tries being allowed in the first half and never gave us a chance before the game. That is so true. I'd love to just give those guys a bit of hard time.
And to be fair, Brad, we did mention how Brandy hates the Sharks, but Brandy did say in the not long after the second half kicked off that if we were able to weather the storm, he doesn't see us losing the game. So he was on the Sharks by the second half. And I say, look, I haven't watched the 9 coverage. I have recorded it. I will. I'll go and watch that tomorrow. I'm going to watch that tomorrow. And
watch it tomorrow.
Hear how they all commented about the game.
All right. Give us a like if you're in watching the show and new to us and you enjoyed that Sharks win. We've got a lot of people watching us at the moment. For us, this is great. Love you, Sharks fans. Give us a like. Brad Lewis in the comments. If I heard them say Mark again, I was going to watch it on mute. Yeah, well, that's probably fair. Poor Rob had to be sat in the Roosters area, and they certainly didn't like losing. I'll say the guy that was in front of me, the Roosters fan, he was well behaved and took us pretty well. 2.0, we are building, mate, says Glenn Thompson. Brett M is suitably excited. Good for you, Brett. Saturday night. Hope you're having a good time. Lisa in the comments says, Toby slapping Teddy out of the way to score the match winner was very satisfying. I didn't realize he went over Teddy. How good.
Yeah. He also went over Lindsay Collins.
Oh,
so that was
pretty good, Lindsay Collins and Lenu, though, weren't they?
They were very good, yeah. And they were fired up too. Good. So they were up for the contest.
That's true. Robocop's singing the song here. Now's the time to see good football. Good for you, Robocop. And as the Discord channel, that would have been pumping during the match, Franko. Goodness me, they would have been going nuts. That would have been good fun. And then Tomo in the comments says, how long for this podcast? It's just Franko. We will be here until next week's game. Love it. Tomo, we will talk for as long as you want. You know how long we're going to talk when we win a grand final, though, Tomo.
Forever.
Robocop says it was great to see a full house. I couldn't get a ticket. Robocop, like us on Facebook. We had spare tickets. We put the announcement out. Robocop, what a bummer. Tommy, also rock hard. Kieran, good game, but a few fair errors from us and a lot from them. Need to improve next week if we're a decent chance. Let's talk to that, Franko. Chances next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought the Roosters were a pretty good team. If we can get a busted team coming out of the fourth match, goodness me, if they can go to extra time, that'd be great.
I'm going to say that, look, on errors, yeah, we weren't great. It was something like 79% completion, which is also not too bad. You think about, seems stupid to say, but 1% more, you get that 80%, and people normally give that a pass mark. So we did all right. And I think that the Roosters, if we were to look at the top 8, excluding the obvious of the Panthers, I think the Roosters was the one I was probably the most wary of. And so for next week, the biggest threat is that we're going to have to go to the losers' home ground. So a packed Suncorp is probably not great. especially with our record there at Suncorp.
But we only lost to them because
GIO.
we had Atkinson, Franco.
Yeah,
Because we put Atkinson on and the forwards just weren't big enough. I think it's a different equation now, and they're going to be missing. They're missing their Adam Reynolds.
yeah.
Like, that's like pretty big.
I think, yeah. Look, as far as taking the crowd out of it, then we've got to remember that we were beating them with 20 minutes to go before we basically blew it. So we should be able to at least hold them accountable and see where the chips fall. And you know what, Canberra, I might be deluded, but I'm not worried about Canberra as much as many people are. We had their number, and then similar to blowing it against the Broncos, just a Hail Mary chain of 30-odd passes with 30 seconds to go got them the victory over us. So, you know what? I know they've certainly improved since then, but so have we. And I think out of those two games, I think we are definitely on the bracket we want to be on, right? We don't want to be looking at the Panthers or Melbourne. So yeah, I think we're good.
Well, we get Melbourne eventually, don't we?
We do get Melbourne. But Amy, you're right. Sorry.
But I think we want to avoid the Panthers.
Yeah,
that's my fault. I would have liked to have played the Bulldogs again, if I'm candid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Bulldogs are busted. Melbourne are.
Get it in the comments, guys. What do you reckon? Busted. Do we want to play Canberra, or do we want to play Brisbane? Who would you rather take on? Robocop in the comments, Franco, says Teddy was the third. Oh, Teddy. He was so annoying. It was like Mitchell Moses-esque.
Teddy was in the face of the ref quite a bit, but to be fair, they had a couple of clever challenges, and that worked well in their favour. Yeah, infuriatingly so. I think that tackling Radley off the ball in that knock-on play.
Oh, that was tough.
It was a bitter pill to swallow. It was awful. I think it's one of those scenarios where they just knew the book, the letter of the law, and they exploited it. Unfortunately, the bunker sees that. It's been called out. They have to rule on it now. If anything was play on, that doesn't get called up. That doesn't get touched. And so, yeah, it was clever play by them. But, yeah, I guess ignoring the fact that Teddy was a de facto ref, we also kept him quiet, right? He did his usual bounce off a few players and make a few extra post-contact meters, but ultimately we had him pretty covered. I think he was not the threat that we've seen in the past, and especially when you talk about nightmares when we played them in the last finals match, he was nowhere near that standard. So we did really well to keep him quiet and to contain him.
Just putting the link here into the comments to join the show. Sorry, I've been a little bit slow to do that, but I think Franco and I knew that we were doing a long show tonight, so I don't think we were that worried about
a long show. I ended it with 30 seconds.
That would have been brilliant. I was like, "Yep, goodness me, that was."
I don't think we lost anyone to that joke, but that was pretty good.
Certainly pretty good. All right, geez, we've got a lot of comments here. I'll try and get through all of them. All right, let's hit through these quickly. Robocop, incredible Hulk style from the Toby Rudolph try.
How about, can we just get off the back of Rudolph there? What was it like at the ground? Because after he scored that, the cameras followed him to the back fence, and he just pumped up the crowd as he got to the fence. He was amping them up. He did the fin. He was loving it, and the crowd was loving him back. It looked amazing on TV. So that's gonna be a highlight.
I was copping hugs and man hugs, and as Tomo calls it here, man cuddles, living the dream. Goodness me, I didn't see much of what happened on the field once Toby Rudolph scored, I can tell you. Rob, thank F we won. The amount of banter I was giving the Roosters fan, they're ready to kill me. Shane H heard there was a punch on. Really? Don't know where there was
in
a
the
punch
crowd.
On. Here we go. All right. 2.0. We're going to give you 90 seconds warning. Pezza, I've lost my voice calling roll ball every time, Angus. Shane Hayden won the game, won the fight. All right, fair enough. Scotty McLaren, love the Fox panel. The Sharks didn't really win the game tonight. The Roosters just lost it. Goodness me. Yeah. I tell you what was also interesting on the opposition fan preview that I did with Tim from Fox. He didn't even realize that the Sharks fans hate Ganane. He's like, what do you mean you hate Ganane? He's like, why would you hate Ganane? I'm like, are you freaking serious? Ganane freaking sucks. And your guys like, and here I am, I'm actually trying to get the Fox Sports KO guys to sponsor us. And I'm just admitting on the podcast that we're like, yep, we hate your commentators. I'm like, yeah, I probably just did us in for getting a sponsorship out of your team, but never mind. Dan Fitz says there were no player interviews on Fox after the game. That was odd. Maybe they just didn't want to do that.
No, that I think is part of the exclusive agreement with Channel 9.
9.
Yeah, so all of the post-game interviews were on Channel 9. So after that, the game, if you're trying to be ad-free, watch Fox, and then you flick over to Channel 9 to watch the player interviews. There was a few there that I saw on Channel 9, so
that probably makes sense.
And,
all right, let's quickly hear a 2.0. We're going to add Ash quickly before we get you in, because Ash looks like he's walking on his way home and will no doubt be angry. And I've just worked out here, Franko, that I don't actually have a layout for 3 people. So I'm going to add Ash and remove myself, and then I'll fix the layout. So you talk to Ash for a second.
You can drop me if you wanted, but that's okay.
Boldo.
I'll talk to Boldo.
All right, I'll remove Franko and I'll fix the... Oh, no, there we go. Hold on. There we go. G'day, Ash.
Hey, mate.
Ash, how you doing, buddy? Did you enjoy that?
Mate, the shark cage was pumping tonight. Like, we got new people in, and it was great. Great to have new people in.
Oh, that sounds a hell of a lot of fun.
It was fun. We were buzzing tonight. Like, we didn't stop. It was great.
Yeah, terrific. Well, that's good to hear. What were your key moments of the match, you thought?
Key moments, Renato Mulatalo giving us an 8-point lead into the halftime break, which was...
He was good, Ronaldo, wasn't he?
He was great. He was great, which was good. Then Toby Rudolph sealing the win. Nothing but awesome. It's been a great week and a perfect weekend. Bring on whoever we play, Canberra or Broncos. We can do it.
Who's your preference there, Ash?
I want Brisbane to get payback on them for earlier in the season, but, Canberra would be good, like we beat them in 2016. We can do it again.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Well, we beat all of them in 2016 except for Manly, really, didn't we? Give us your what was your thoughts on the Sharks fans' performance tonight? How do you think we did as a group of fans?
We were good. Like, even though the Roosters fans we could only hear them when they went in, but we were pretty good at times. Like, Shark Cage a few times were a bit quiet, but Tim got us continued, which was good. But no, overall, it was a good atmosphere, I thought.
All right, give us your 3, 2, 1, legend.
3 points for me, Toby. 2 points, Mulatalo. 1 point, Tedesco and Todd Smith.
Where are you going to watch the game from next week, man?
Well, if it's Canberra, my brother and I will probably drive to it. If it's Brisbane, we're probably going to think about going up for it, depending on work.
All right, well, let me know if you go. We'll see you there at a pub beforehand.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Cheers, guys.
All right, legend, you have a safe trip home.
Thank you,
guys.
You
have a safe
too.
trip home, mate, and we'll see you next time. See you, buddy.
Soon. Thank you, guys. Bye.
See you, mate. All right, that was Ash on his way. That gives 2.0 a 5-second warning. At least we know he's not going to be angry tonight. 2.0 joining us live from Woolaware. Mate, what's your opinion of that match?
I had my loser's speech ready because everyone said we were going to lose. What happened? Kind of against the old run of play, that one, isn't it?
I think if you recall on our Tuesday night show, we all pretty much picked us as winners. There was a hesitation in our voice, but we picked us.
I thought we were going to win. The 5th place beats the 8th place 85% of the time or something. And as much as everyone thought the Roosters were in good form, the Sharks have been in great form. 2.0. Who did you see? Who were your key guys tonight? Your boy Fanua Blake was good.
He was good, but what I will say is I think Fitzy got these subs bang on tonight. I think the first half we were under the pump a bit, and then he brought on Talakai, and he brought on Ueli. I thought Ueli's first the stint was great in the first half.
Yep.
And then in the second half, we were under the pump, couldn't get out of the half.
But they held on.
He brings on AFB and Nickera, and two
What a
bang
difference.
runs. And Nickera's enthusiasm in defence and just like line speed was incredible. And I think that just started turning it a little bit in our favour. I think we all had a bit of an aneurysm when Nico dropped the ball after the 2. I was like, of course it had to be him, didn't it? Because everyone's just going to eat him alive.
Yep, had to be him.
Had to be him. And I remember sending Boldo a message at halftime saying, "Don't you say anything." Don't you say. And he sent me one back going. So that was good.
I didn't say anything.
But yeah,
I showed Matty Williams that thing, and he said, "Oh, you can't even say that." I'm like, "I've said nothing." He's like, "Oh, you can't say that." Oh, goodness me! But he gave me a big man cuddle after full time, Matty. It was certainly very
on
good.
the interchange there. I reckon the impact from Kafusi and Talakai was almost immediate. Like they were. Kafusi was impactful just in terms of hit-ups, but Talakai was good in terms of ball playing, offloads. They really had the Roosters defence second-guessing there, running different lines, looking for offloads. It really sort of got them on the back foot. And then you're right, 2.0 in that second half. They were obviously gassed. We were under the pump. They were putting a lot of pressure on us, and then swapping back out for AFB and Nickera. Mate, they had all the energy and got us back into the front foot.
Well, AFB and Nickera are arguably our two best players. At times, they've both been top of our player tiers that we do. Obviously, Brayley's our top guy right now, but Nickera was also fresh. And for Noah Blake, we literally got him in for that impact rather than having Royce Hahn and, Jack Williams. We have Fanua Blake instead, so we just have a bit more quality, and we got exactly what we paid for. So well done to them. 2.0, we haven't chatted on Ramian or Iro tonight, the centres. What was your take on the outside backs and those two centres in particular?
I thought defensively they were good. I think the back five in general struggled with the line speed of the Roosters. I mean, it's so hard to judge because I've watched the previous 2 games as well. And the Bulldogs-Melbourne game, there was no penalties. The Warriors-Penrith game, there was too many penalties. And you could have probably been in the middle of those 2, I think there was a few offsides that didn't go our way, probably a few that didn't go their way. But I kind of like that. You just let it roll. Let it go. Because it's finals footy. It's kind of like Origin. You just let it go. And if they're if they're like just offside, don't worry about it. But in general, I thought they did pretty well. I wasn't happy with Kennedy's positioning for the grubber. He was playing as in the line again. But overall, I think he had a very strong game. Katoa, I was fuming at him because he keeps going sideways and spinning, and then he pulls off 2 great takes from bombs that I've been critical of him for, so I shut me up pretty quickly. And I was like, fine, I don't care. If you're catching bombs when we're under the pump, I don't care. Like, just go sideways, go back to bloody Port Botany or whatever. I don't care. Like, just keep doing that. Overall, Ramian, I think Euro had a quiet game from his standards, but Ramian's probably getting back to his defensive best. He's not trying to rush in and jam him and stuff like that. He's just actually putting good shots on. But overall, like defensively, where's this been for the last 26 games or whatever it's been?
Who cares? We only need it now.
Oh, but if we defend like that, do you know how easy it would be to be a Sharks fan if we defended like that every week?
Mate, it's never going to be easy being a Sharks fan 2.0. Come on.
I know. It'd be nice. It would be nice.
Come on. It's never going to be nice. Who do you want next week? Raiders, Broncos?
Canberra. I think Canberra going down straight sets. I think Brisbane beat them tomorrow, and I think we beat them next week.
Well, I guess if they do get beaten by Brisbane, they're going to be certainly nervous playing us, and we're going to have nothing to lose.
We should have beaten them in the first game. I think they've been lucky in the way the draw's fallen, so to speak. I think they've played some good teams, but they've also gotten away with a couple of games. I think if they lose tomorrow, those young kids are going to start shitting themselves. And,
that's true.
Ronnie going down there mouthing off. Did you hear what he said on the
good?
Field?
How good was it?
So he's going off the field, and Lana Ferguson on Channel 9 was interviewing him, and she goes, how's that, Ronnie? And he said something like, it's 2-1, Marky Mark. Let's get it. I was like, oh, my boy. He's
that's so good. You got to love Ronaldo Mulatalo, don't you?
Oh, you do. It could have come back to bite him, but he as Fitzy said, he's a shark through and through.
He's a shark through and through.
He loves his teammates and he loves the club, so he just wants to do what's best for him. So.
Shark Park was in good form. All right, give us your 3-2-1s. We've got a whole bunch of people hanging out in the green room. I can see you both in there, so we're going to get to you guys. Don't worry.
I'll go 1 point Trindle. I think he was in the last, especially his kicking game and his 2 try assists at the end of the first half were great. I thought he pulled the wool over their eyes, and just that juggle he did. I don't know how he kept hold of that, but fair play. 2 points. I'm going to give it to AFB. I think, as you said, Boldo, mate, we bought him for that, and I think he was the strongest on the field by a mile. He just a little skip, as I said last week, the little skip and jump and into the line gets him so many more meters than a lot of people would. And I love Ronnie. You know I love Ronnie. I'm a Ronnie boy. But 3 points got to go to Toby at the end. He gets off the nudie. He's been bloody so good for the last 8 weeks. And the emotion that sent the place into raptures. We could feel it here. Son was in bloody tears because that's her boy. Oh, it was just.
Mate, they're all Son's boys. Come on, she loves all of them.
That's true. That's very true. But I when he scored that try, I actually made my daughter cry because I scared the hell out of her. So I had to apologise pretty quickly. But no, it's such a good feeling to win a game at Shark Park, and especially after 2 years ago when they beat us in Golden Point. The
guys down to the Super Centre that work at Harvey Norman have put away the sale of the replacement remote controls. You can save them for another week, guys, because Sharks fans haven't broken their remote controls. 2.0 is really good to see you, mate. We will certainly see you next weekend.
We'll do,
the weekend after.
Up.
And then the weekend after that one. Good to see you, mate. Up, Cronulla. See you, legend.
Boys.
Thanks, mate. All right, that was 2.0. We've got Rob V and Scotty in the green room. We'll bring Scotty from North Korea in. Scotty from South Korea. Mate, did you enjoy watching that one?
Mate, it was a good game. It was tough to watch. It wasn't so much the game itself. It was just listening to Fox. Oh, my God.
The hatred for Fox.
Goodness me. Next time I'm just going to put it on mute and listen to Dan Ganane on Triple M.
Oh, no.
Well, Dan Ganane's not any good either.
He's good on Triple M.
He's better on Triple M.
Yeah, he's better on Triple M, but Jesus Christ, the panel after the game, even halftime, criticized.
What were they like after the game, Scotty?
Oh, they actually said that the Sharks didn't win the game. The Roosters lost it. Right. They're just giving us no credit. Even halftime, Ronaldo's first try, they're like, oh, that was a shepherd. And I'm like, really?
Goodness me.
And they're trying to say, Ramian attacked the ball, and it's like, no, the ref said he was making a tackle on Walker, and the ball came
How good are these guys?
They just got no clue.
Goodness me. So the more that we go through this, Scotty, the more you're just convincing Franco and me that we should just go on Shire Radio and we should actually just call the Sharks matches ourselves. And you can tune into us simulcast it. It would just be so much better than that rubbish.
Oh, man, it was pathetic. Even before the game, they were all on the Roosters. I know, Braith and all that played for them, but Jesus Christ, you can't be biased in everything. It's like trying to
Can you imagine? Oh, goodness me. Can you imagine if we play the Broncos next week and they've got Tallis and Kevin Walters? Oh, no, that would be so bad. Oh.
Kevy's okay. Tallis isn't too bad, but yeah.
Tallis is the worst.
We won't be playing the Broncos next week.
You think we'll be playing the Raiders?
Yeah, I think the way that the Broncos definitely have more big game experience, and I think once that pressure gets to the young guys, as William said earlier, they're going to fold a bit too much. So yeah, I think we'll be going down and play Canberra. So. Hopefully we'll see.
Key moments of the match, mate. Firstly, would you have taken the 2?
My wife and I were debating that. She said take the 2. I said no because we're only going to be 4 in front.
I'm sure you thought that you knew that we would argue on the show about this. You're like, oh yeah, Boldo and Franko are going to go about
What?
this.
Anytime we take the 2.
It's just the ongoing battle, isn't it?
It is. It's like, should I have the chicken or the steak for dinner? It's
You should always have the steak, Scotty.
Yeah,
Steak's always better.
It is always better, but over here it's too expensive to buy.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, give us your 3, 2, 1, and then we'll let you go and get some sleep or not get arrested by those communists.
So my 3 points, I'd probably go to Tricky. His kicking game in the first half is what really kept us in the game, especially when we weren't making as many meters. But it was good to see our defense firstly being strong when we weren't getting the field position. And his kicking game and our defense backing it up was what kept us in the game, because if the Roosters got out to a really strong lead, I don't think we would have caught him. 2 points, I'd probably go to Nikora when he came on in the second half off the bench. He really strengthened the side with Nico Hines, especially against Crichton. Because I think Crichton was starting to get a bit on top of Billy Burns, especially one of the bump offs he did. And 1 point, I know Williams went to Toby, but I'll go Ronnie, 2-1 up against Marky Mark. So, yep, that's my.
Pretty good. All right, Scotty. Well, thanks for coming in and joining us. It was good to see you as always. Hopefully we see you for 3 more weeks, legend, and you get to watch some more Sharks matches. So good to see you, mate. You're looking well.
Thanks, guys. And yeah, hopefully we get 3 more weeks so we can listen to Fox.
Oh, I'm in.
Oh, God. All right, Scotty. We'll see you next time. Up.
Bye.
All right, that was Scotty from North Korea. Hey, Rob, can you hear me in the green room? Give us a thumbs up. Just give us a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, and then can you give us a thumbs up if you could have watched the press conference? And if you haven't, can you go watch the press conference and then and then give us a thumbs up when you're ready, and we'll get you to give us a.
Jeez.
Oh, he's not going to do that. Oh, we're just going to bring you in. Oh, I'll bring you in, Rob. All right, here you are.
That's asking a bit
sorry,
much
guys.
of the fans.
I was just trying to.
The wife actually has friends over, so
so you got to go. You got to come in quickly. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah. So that's what I'm exactly.
What is your lovely wife's name, Rob?
Claire with no eye.
Claire. What? She's
with a Z.
She's a one-eyed Sharks fan. Is that what you're saying?
I'm the one-eyed Sharks fan. No, like not the French spelling, the Irish spelling.
All right, fair enough. Well, Claire, I hope you have a lovely evening with your buddies. Rob, it was also good to see you tonight, mate. What did you make of that match sitting in the Peter Burns stand, joining what is tonight, I guess, the Peter Burns stand podcast?
Yes, well, I was about 5 seats up from where I normally sit, so I felt right at home. But it was nice to see you chaps in my little space in the stadium.
It was a bit, it's like alternate universe. You're like, Boldo's sitting with us. All right, fair enough. I guess.
I like that. What I make of the game, just so much ticker. I thought they were amazing. Their scramble was great. They never panicked, which we've seen a bit of this year. Just in the last 2 weeks, I think they've realised that they're a finals team. And that statement by Ronnie at halftime, just saying it's 2-1. I got you. That's
so good.
Talks about
that's the ultimate troll.
It is. It was great. Everyone's,
troll.
fapping. Oops, am I allowed to say that? Everyone's very excited about
flapping.
And brought in. So, I thought they were amazing. I was really, really happy.
You mentioned you were in amongst a whole bunch of Roosters fans, Rob.
No, there was a couple of Roosters in front of us.
Gotcha.
It was mostly us.
Okay.
There are a few Roosters interspersed.
Oh, there was one chap who I've dubbed Beanie Boy. He said, I'll have a bit of shoulder for you to cry on at the end of the game. And I was going, Beanie Boy, where's my cuddle?
What about the Roosters fan in the Peter Burns stand who was wearing the Boston Celtics beanie? Jeez, I was giving him a hard time saying it's not even the right. Even your basketball team sucks, which was good fun. Rob, we've obviously talked ad nauseum about Ronaldo Mulatalo. Sione Katoa, his tag team partner on the other wing, obviously had a hard assignment too. What did you make of Sione?
Well, at the start of the game, I was really concerned about that. The change to the rules, sin binning. I was actually more worried about Ramey and blocking and getting sin binned. That seemed like it was made for Tupu, that change or interpretation of the ruls, and I was really worried about it. So Sione flying through the air, taking AFL marks, beautiful. They only went to it twice, and both times diffused. I loved it. I loved every moment of that. They looked totally crestfallen when it didn't work, but that always works.
Having been to another finals match at Shark Park now, and we get a rare Shark Park victory over the years. Yeah, right call for the Sharkies to play at Shark Park. You think now?
Oh, absolutely, it was.
It's good.
That is, I'm actually quite critical of the performance of the crowd at most games. I think there's a lot of people who are there for an event that they hang out Saturday to see friends, or Saturday night to see friends. That gets on my goat. Watch the game and see your friends for an hour before and an hour after. But everybody was in. There was screaming, there was yelling, there was booing, there was calling for the offside.
Wow, the Peter Burns stand finally had a real Sharks fan sitting in it tonight, Rob. That's why.
How very dare you? I sit there every game.
They're a bit more passionate, just had a bit more stuff going on. I tell you what, sitting the Peter Burns, it's hard to be connected to the match though, in the same way. Yeah. So we, in the ET stand, Rob, we sit 3 rows back from the Sharks bench. And so it is very easy to feel part of it and part of the team and screaming at the players and urging them on. And it's a different experience on the other side of the Peter Burns. And also,
you don't even get the cheerleaders facing you at the Peter Burns.
I don't mind that. I'm going to leave that alone. I get looks sometimes from our own supporters when I'm yelling.
And I get looks all the time, Rob. What are you talking about? Goodness me. Right. What about the looks? I tell you, the story of me taunting the Knights goal kicker for the NRLW the other day is probably the funniest looks that I've gotten when I said, look, it'd be sexist if I didn't. And then I just started abusing this poor girl who's never copped anything like the amount of abuse.
He's also the New South Wales halfback, I think, as well. So I like it when she plays for New South Wales.
We don't like them when they play against the Sharks. All right, Rob, give us your 3, 2, 1 from that one, mate, and then we'll let you get back to your lovely wife's party.
I'm going to give an honourable mention to Tricky. I thought those passes, and I thought he stayed alive. He was great. 1 for Talakai, him, and as you said, and his other front row partner when they came on really made a difference. But Talakai, I thought was Kafusi was even better. I mean, Talakai was better. And look, Ronnie gets 2. He would have got 3 if not for the early knock on. Like, do we have to start every game like this? What is going on?
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. And Toby gets my 3. Just unbelievable. Superman try. They're busting. And not for just the try. That was the icing on the cake. He just he bent the line every single time he ran. His defense was cracker. He was a rock. He was amazing.
All right.
Hey, and I also want to say the 2 points. Oh, what's
of course.
The 2 points. What is with that? Taking the 2 points. I was like,
of course they should have taken the 2.
At that period of time, the Roosters were offside the entire time, and deer in the headlights, Todd Smith was like, I can't call them offside.
I didn't think they were that offside.
Oh, my God, I did.
No, Nico, just don't drop the damn ball. Like, when you're running it up. Like, why does the halfback running it up anyway?
Yeah, no, he's made a mistake. But basically, they were pushing it very hard, and it was semi-final.
They were all over us. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you saw that with the Storm pushing the rules the same way when they get into the finals, don't they? And the Panthers do as well. So.
Did you see the Panthers get pinged for it against the Warriors? They were doing the same thing and lying all over the tackle and were getting pinged. And they were like, what's going on? We're the Panthers. It's the finals. You can't penalise us.
I think Warriors just run out of dudes tonight, didn't they? All right, Rob, we'll let you get back to your party.
All right.
So good to see you, mate. We'll see you next week, hopefully, on the week after and then the week after.
Sounds great. All right. Up.
Just put us on the big TV, Rob, for your whole party to watch us. That's okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
I might. I think they want to watch the women's rugby at 1 o'clock, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, they want to watch the ET stand.
Okay.
Well, those new fancy TVs, you can do double screens. You can have us and them on at the same time.
Oh, that's true. I do have one of those.
Mhm.
It only
All
works
right, give
on-
us a
only
like.
works
Give
on
us a
plain
like, guys,
Facebook.
if you love Rob. Rob's such a legend coming in here as well. So, all right, my good friend, you're an absolute gentleman. We love having you on the show. I like everyone. We will see you next week or the week after at some stage. Thanks, legend.
Okay.
Have a good
Bye,
enjoy
everyone.
the rest of your weekend. See you, mate. All right, that was Rob Valensky. All right, Lynn, give us a wave. We're going to give you about 60 seconds warning. We are going to hit through some of these comments. I'm not going to respond to that comment from Shane H, but I'll put it up on the screen. Toby Pezza says, Toby running over Teddy to score has made my year. God, it's such a great moment. It's hard to go past Toby Rudolph. Glenn Thompson points out, at Mike Knight, we had 44 missed tackles compared to their 2. Mind-blowing. Or 22. Going to say my eyes are going, geez, if they only had 2. Stuart Campbell in the comments says, Iro had an off night, crabbing sideways a lot, but both halves in the trenches and ended up winning both halves. Robocop says, can we have chicken tonight, tomorrow? Pezza agrees. Yep, the Fox fan will love the game. Sounded like they're at the work of a funeral. Mike Knight agrees there. Patuda even posted we had no chance. I guess now it comes off as a great parody. That's probably true. And Shane H confirming that Cronk can dribble. Well, so can you, Shane Hanby. You're a big dribbler. You're probably dribbling right now if I know you, Shane Hanby. All right, let's get the legendary Lynn, one of the all-time great legend, favourite Sharks fan. She's got a jersey on.
In my Indigenous jersey tonight.
Oh, yeah, you do too.
My lucky Indigenous jersey.
What is it, undefeated, is it?
Yeah, so far. So
Has
I wore it
Has it got
tonight.
3 more games in it, Lynn?
Oh, I bloody hope so. I'm not going to wash it either because that's a bit superstitious. Sorry if I stink next time anyone sees me, but I'm going to leave it out of the wash.
Oh, I never watched
Acceptable.
So don't worry.
So we were in a great spot
What's on that
because we
next?
normally up a PB and we were down on literally on halfway, staring down the tunnel on the Peter Burns side in row 2, and it was great fun for a change. And we had a really good
right.
atmosphere.
Oh, you must have
It
been
was
right in
probably-
front of. You would have been right in front of me then.
Oh, where were you?
I was in
that
Peter
same bay
Burns.
3?
Yeah, I was in Bay 3, row H or F or something.
Oh, there you go. We were in row B, right down the front. So it was a great atmosphere in that bay, I thought. Half and half,
yeah, I
roughly.
thought so. Yeah. Oh,
And we
what
had
for
a
them?
really nice banter with a Roosters guy near us. And
What,
he
the
came
guy
to
in
go
the guy in the beanie?
yeah, and he put his jacket on and we were like, oh, mate, are you cold? Are you embarrassed? You know, so we had a
Yeah,
good
oh, it's very funny. I thought they were well behaved and took it quite.
Everyone
well.
was. There was no nastiness. It was really nice. So that was good to see, but it was very stressful. And I said to the person I was sitting with that one of 2 things will happen. Either there'll be a score for the Roosters in the first 10 minutes and we'll be out, or it'll be a heartbreaker right at the end. Like a heart charger at the end, which is what it was. So, no, I thought the game was great. The only thing, and I've missed bits of your show, I'm sorry, because I've been driving and dropping people off. But
You were
the
watching
thing for me-
Sharkcast, weren't you, Lynn?
no, not at all.
Just teasing you. We love Sharkcast. We love Sam.
No, I had to drop people off, and I was chatting
Yeah,
to people
fair enough.
around until quite late. But so if you've said this already, I'm sorry, but I thought the first 10 or 15 minutes after half time, I went, oh shit, we're in trouble because we
Yeah.
weren't going forward. We had about 3 sets. We couldn't get out of our own half, and
Well, Talakai and ULA and Kafusi, they just all looked gassed, didn't they? It was as if they were
Yeah.
just holding on. And because the comment I made was, if we can just be ahead by the time for Newell Blake and Nickera come on,
come back, yeah.
I think that'll be enough. Even if we were behind, I was thinking, we can probably come back here. But
And it's hard to track the timings of the interchange when you're there, of course, but it felt like the first stints were quite long. Did the first lot of replacements?
Yeah,
didn't have-
agreed.
Yeah, it was about 24 minutes or so before the change happened.
In comparison to the Roosters, they certainly hit their bench a lot earlier than us.
Yes.
So there was a slight ascendancy from the Roosters at that point in time when they made a change, and it was noticeable. And it was like, oh, geez. But Fitzy held his nerve. He did what he did and waited till whenever he thought it was time, and that's when they came on, and we got back on front foot, and it was really good. But I think there was multiple times where we were trailing them. We were just trying to hold on a bit longer with boys on the park over the Roosters so that we had a bit more energy in the legs towards the back end of both halves.
But it
Here's a
seemed
plan.
like when we
I'll go
got
then,
to
yeah.
that point, where they were looking gassed, that he did the interchange. And Fanua Blake came on, and I think it was Nickera, and then
Nickera.
Jesse wasn't far behind. He was a minute or 2 after that. And all of a sudden, pow, we went right down the field. So
Well, Nicker
after
was very. Do we think that he did the substitutions differently because it was Nicker rather than Tom Hazelton and Billy Burns as won his spot in the team, or was that he would have done it anyway with Tom Hazelton? You think?
Yeah, I think it was. Well, Nicker is not a big body. He's fast and he has a different sort of game, but he's not a Tom Hazelton, is he? So it's a different scenario. So
Yeah, but he's just a good footballer, Nicker, though, isn't he? So
yeah,
he was.
Got a lot of skill, yeah.
I think he worked out when he went on. He just needed to get more involved and do a few hit ups, and he was just energy and also clearly fresh. He's arguably Franco's favourite player in the Sharks team. I don't know if he's number one. Is he your number one, Franco?
He's close. He dips in and out of the number one position. Yeah, Talakai's up there as well.
Yeah, Talakai might be pretty good. Lynn, the match next week, Raiders or Broncos? Who do you think we want to face? And
I probably prefer Canberra. I know that sounds silly, but Suncorp full of rampant Brisbane fans is never fun. So I don't know. I think I'd rather Canberra. I'm that confident I've left my flag on the back seat ready to drive down.
Not really. What do you think the Broncos are going to do them tomorrow?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe it's wishful thinking, but I thought, well, I take my flag and I went, no, leave it in the car. I'll need it next week. So
yeah.
It's a long drive to Brisbane.
Oh, yeah, well, I ain't doing that. I'll be fine.
I want the Broncos. I want to go see all those Bolderman cousins. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, come on, Lynn.
I was a yes, because at that point it had felt like an arm wrestle for a really long time. Points were hard to get, and I thought, you know what, 4 points up is 4 points up, and as you said, they can't then take a 2-point kick themselves and level it up. So I was pro the 2. I wasn't pro what happened in the next few minutes after the 2, but you know, it was just heartbreak hill at that point.
That's certainly true. So you are going to you're going to drive down to Canberra next week, or Broncos?
I don't mind the drive down to Canberra at all.
It's such a boring drive to Canberra. It is the most boring road.
Put good podcasts on, Boldo. I mean, it's not boring.
Well, we'll do a 2-hour podcast about the Sharks. Actually, we're going to interview Barry Russell this week on the ET stand.
Nice. Okay.
You can listen to that on the way down. So Franco's championed the bit for me to interview Barry Russell and ask him a whole bunch of questions and talk to him about 1988. He's a lovely human being, Barry Russell, isn't he?
I agree.
He's very, very good.
I'm a very happy camper. It was stressful, but it was great fun. And that's the most enthusiastic up Cronulla we've had for a long time.
Was it? I'll tell you what's funny, as stressful as you think it was, as soon as Toby scores, the stress is just gone. I'm just trying to remember how stressed I was. I remember thinking to myself, I'm literally chewing my fingernails right now. And I don't think in my lifetime I've ever chewed my fingernails.
I remember looking up at the clock and going, there's 3 minutes 53 to go. That's about 5 sets. And they got a really bad set. And I looked up and went, oh, God, there's still 3 minutes 13. How long is this going to take? And then we were good.
And we got... All right, give us your 3, 2, 1, Lynn. What do you got?
I think it's probably what everyone's thinking. You've got to love Toby for what he did. But apart from the try that saved the world, he had a good game again, same as he did last week. Strong, lots of forward movement, nearly broke the line a few times. I was very proud of him. I think 2 for Ronnie, just because the tries that he scored, he had a great game. Taking the ball back up after the kicks again, he had a good game there. And I want to give 1 to Trindle. I thought his kicking game was great.
Well, it's the same.
I think he showed up tonight in the kicking game and the general play.
That's the same score as I think that was the same as 2.0's score.
Lynn. Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think it's the same score.
Great minds.
Well, look, clearly you weren't listening to him. Otherwise, you would have said that it was giving the same as 2. But I think that's probably a fair assessment. Yeah, look, if the Sharks go on and win next week, Lynn, where does this Sharks team rate if they get through to another prelim final versus?
Rate in relation to the other people in the 8, or rate?
No, rate in terms of other Sharks teams.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've got to be nearly approaching the top of the list if they can get to another prelim this year. God forbid we could even win one. But if we can get to a prelim this year, they've got to be number 2 or number 3.
Certainly one of the better ones. Maybe we can, if we do that. Maybe if we win next week, we can.
2016, 99, and then
99 team was obviously the 78 and 73 teams were very good. 97 team was also very good.
88
as was 2001. It's almost like we need to have a.
Well, it's almost like top 10.
It was almost like we need to have a tiers of where the Sharks teams rate, Franco. I might do that as a future segment. Actually, we can do that in the off season.
Like one of the spreadsheet people.
Well, I'm a spreadsheet person. I'm definitely one of those, Lynn. So
Me
Can I
too.
just say it's lovely to see you, Lynn, and thanks for joining the show and your support and all
Pleasure.
that kind of stuff.
Hopefully, we're chatting happily next week.
Well,
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
will be. It's going to be a Sunday match next week, isn't it? Almost a Sunday.
If it's against Canberra, yeah, I think actually it's both either or. Yes, I sound the
Either
game.
or.
Because they'll give them the 7-day break, won't they? Yeah.
They'll give them the 7-day break. So I intend on going regardless of location. So if there's a Sharks meet up somewhere, we can high five them.
Well, I'm contemplating flying to Brisbane too, even though
I'm flying to Brisbane. I will certainly be there with all the Boldermans. So hopefully we get to see you there, Lynn. But great to see you as always, and up Cronulla. And thanks for coming on.
All right, anytime. See ya.
See you, legend. All right, that was Lynn, the absolute legend. All right, we've got so many comments here, Franko. Here we go. I'm just going to hit through these fast. Glenn Thompson says, halftime killed us. We had energy and momentum. Yeah, it did, but it also came at a good time for us because it was just such a shocker to them that we just scored twice on them. So, and we came out at halftime a bit tired. So I can't imagine how tired Kafusi and Talakai would have been if they had a break. Glenn Thompson says, how good was Billy? That's definitely true. Sass says, never in doubt, lads, especially when it took so long for the Roosters to hurt the scoreboard. Trust the bench. Sonia Quigley in the comments. Let's just celebrate the greatness of Toby. I predict he'll do the very same sealing of the deal for us to make the GF. All right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And Sonia also backing up. Teddy is still sporting Toby's footprint on his face while talking on the press conference. Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Robocop, you would think that English is Cooper's first language. I can't stand what the hell he is talking about. Fair enough.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
How good's this one? Pezza in the comments. Roosters can take their turfless stadium and neck off. Yeah, fair enough. Harley in the comments. Sharks first win home final since 2008. Is that right? Yeah, it is. First time in the Craig Fitzgibbon era, the Cronulla Sharks have won a week one finals match and their first home finals victory since 2008.
Well,
good call,
ominous. 08 was against Canberra, wasn't it?
It was.
So
here we go.
So
then
looking at the tea leaves or what?
Yeah, something like that. Chief Brody says, good guys. One, somehow game became exhausting just watching and officiating at home. That's true. Will in the comments says, take the two, bring Fact for feeder before you go for the try. Well, that's true. And all right. What else have we got here? Oh, Ashley Williams. He's still angry about the referees. It's 15 up against 13. Todd Smith and James Tedesco. It's just so funny, Ash. He was on the show and he did. I just know not to ask him about the referees now, Franko, just because he's. Mate, what did you make of the refereeing performance? I thought it was all right.
Yeah, look, he's not particularly one of my favourite refs. I'm not going down any bias or agendas or anything like that, but yeah, I'd say he's one of the weaker refs, and that's probably a reflection on our position on the table. So you know, it's hard to argue that we should have got a better caliber ref, but look, that's going to change as the teams drop off and there's less games moving forward. So yeah, good to get that one out of the way with him because yeah, it was always going to be 50-50 in terms of what he was going to deliver. Overall, look, I don't think he was as bad as he has been in the past. I don't think he's been as bad as he has been in the past. So he did all right. I'll give him kudos.
All right. Jake in the comments says, yes, boys. Yes, Jakey boy. How good was that? Cecil in the comments says, Teddy's one-handed drop. What was the one-handed
That was awesome.
drop? When was that?
They made the break down the middle and
oh yeah.
Crichton, not Crichton, sorry. Was Angus Crichton? Yeah, Crichton offloaded to him and he had clean air in front of him and he dropped the ball. It was hilarious. It was awesome.
Malcolm Rumble in the comments says Rudolph saved our season versus the Dolphins. Yeah, that was an absolute critical moment, and that's very true. Toby, you're in great form. Tomo in the comments. There we go. We're starting to get some of the Fitzy stuff. So Fitzy in the press conference says, we are the Sharks. We will shut up and turn up next week and see what happens. Geez, that's good from you, Fitzy. I'm not even sure I've got the entire context, and I like it, Franco. If you were Fitzy in the press conference, how would you have handled it? Something like that. Play it down.
I mean, look, we knew we were underdogs in this match. We'll probably be underdogs in the next match. So I can get the impression that there was a lot of talk about needing to lift and needing to prove ourselves. Maybe some comments about the whole we can't win finals matches. So yeah, circle the wagons, boys. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Tomo enjoyed the celebration at the end. Scott Brady confirms Anasta absolutely ropeable in the panel. Gotta love that. Love it when you're ropeable, Anasta, you and your stupid field goal against the Tigers. Yeah, that's right. Go be an agent rather than a 360 host. All right, Como in the comments says we will win next week with Vincent Spears music saying up, up. And Jake Matuzzi comments 10 points against in the final is a big defensive effort. He's not wrong. I thought the defense looked pretty good, and certainly the second try by the Roosters was an excellent one, and the first one was just after some sustained pressure. But overall, you'd have to say, Franco, the defensiveness of the Sharks, that is what we expected from Fitzgibbon, the defensive coach. Did we finally get what we wanted, what we thought? Was that the defense we were promised, Franco?
Well, I mean, look, it was. We've seen a defensive lift sort of in the last month of football. It was a bit shaky through the season. The defense was not there, and he even came out and said publicly that we weren't where we should have been. So definitely something that was overdue. But again, considering where a lot of this game was played on the field, it just goes to highlight how good our defense was, because there was a lot of people saying that we need to try and limit the amount of time the Roosters are in our half, let alone our 20. And the Roosters got plenty of opportunities, and we were able to shut that down. So that was really good effort by us.
Cecil in the comments is saying, if it's in Brisbane, I'm going all in and trying to get tickets. Now, if it is in Brisbane, I suspect, Cecil, that my good friends will not take up their ticket codes. So you can get in touch with me and I can give you a code so you can buy it on Monday, just in case you don't have a membership code. And for anyone else who's watching the ET stand, if you want to DM me, I can give you a code or help you as much with codes as I possibly can, I guess, on a first in, first best basis. I can't see me convincing Franco to fly up to Brisbane with me, can I, mate?
My code is all yours, sir.
Fair enough. All right. Dan Fitzy says, I live in Canberra, so bring it on down here close to home. Oh, well, that'll be good. Tomo says, we go to Brisbane to finish off the game we shouldn't have lost. And the Raiders, we can revenge for the last seconds loss, win either way. Jake reminding us that Suncorp is no longer our graveyard. Come up and visit, party at my place after the win. That sounds like good, Jake. You can sleep on your couch. I could probably sleep on one of the Boldo couches. 2.0 says, who cares if we defend like that? Bring all of their candy asses. That's probably fair. Scott Brahini asked, did you think our back five struggled in yardage? Felt like we constantly struggled to make it past the 40 metres. Some of our Trindle's yardage kick really helped us tonight. Yeah, I thought we struggled against our top five, or our back five. Didn't have the punch that we might have expected from them. Not sure whether that was effort or whether that was just they were knackered from everything else, or whether the Roosters' defence was just better. For some reason, they just didn't seem as prepared to put their body on the line. They were a little bit off of mine, Franco. Would you agree?
Oh, I don't know if that's fair to say they weren't willing to put their body on the line. There were certainly a lot of examples where they did.
Yeah, maybe that's tough.
The Roosters very much muscled up in defence on our back five. It was part of their game plan to shut us down. We know that's a key strength of ours. And definitely they got the better of our back five. We did not have the same impact that we normally have. There was a little bit more sideways movement than normal, trying to find a gap in the defensive line. It was certainly something where I would say that the Roosters targeted to make sure that we didn't have that same impact. I also felt as though, and it's all part of the game plan this day and age, but we relied too much on our outside backs at times when trying to get out of our own 20. So there was a couple of sets where it was Ronnie, Katoa, Kennedy, Ronnie, Katoa, and then a kick. So that I know we're giving our middles a bit of a breather, but when you're camped inside your own 20 and you're not getting the clearing kicks out past the halfway, the pressure builds, and we just sort of needed someone to stand up. And there was, look, whether it's right or wrong, there was a moment there where I thought, geez, we need someone like a Cam McInnes to tuck it under his arm and just sort of go, hey guys, look, let's go, let's move forward.
He would have been useful.
Runs.
Cam McInnes instead of Colquhoun would have been better tonight, I think.
I don't know. Look, I don't know if that's true, but there was certainly that moment after the second half started where I felt that just that no nonsense. Let's just give me the ball. I'll run it as hard as I can. Quick play the ball. I think we kind of missed that a little bit at that point in time.
Yeah, it's probably fair. All right, I'll go through the rest of these comments. I'll try and hit them. Mr. Dave says, Roosters kept kicking to the wrong side, thankfully. Tupou is past it. And then Stuart Campbell, Supercoach Group said this week the Sharks are the best records against fullbacks this year. We covered their back three pretty well. Real question is, did Rudolph poop his pants this game? I hope not.
Well, his pants did come down. It didn't look like it, so we're clear.
Yeah, right. Justin Reggio confirms that I got absolutely soaked at the fence. Energy was wild. Oh, it must have been throwing beers. Oh, that would have been so good. That would have been so much fun. Yeah, that would have been absolutely terrific. Here we go. Chris Richardson confirms pre-game interviews were all Roosters on Fox as well. Of course they were. And Jake just confirms Chris Richardson, bunch of cocks. Chief Brody says, glad to see Williams 2.0 got through the game. Tough watch. Well done, carrying bars finest. SJD joining the chat a little bit late. Maybe recency bias, but that might be the best game I've ever been to, especially with Toby scoring right in front of us. I even predicted it a minute earlier. Well, Franco's going to ask me what score I gave that game. That's one of our get towards our last questions. Out of 10, how much did you enjoy that game? Get it in the comments. Mazdad says, never in doubt. Don't know if I believe that, but sure. Stuart Campbell confirms the game will be 4 p.m. Sunday. Ricky complained so the loser tomorrow won't get a 6-day turnaround, because of course he did. Chief Brody says, Shy Radio, do it. Fox is what the Simpsons were talking about in the 90s. That's true. Lenny says, I'm slow. And Glenn says, Dan Ganane is a Broncos supporter. Tomo says, here we go. Boldo, they were so offside consistently. Fair justice, Tomo. Fair justice. Scotty Latino in the comments says, let's go. Scott Brahney here is now fired up. We have a good regular season next year. I feel this win makes things a little easier for us going into the finals with both belief and media noise. That's probably true. And then also says, I want to play Brisbane next week. Imagine knocking out Roosters, Brisbane, and then Melbourne the following week. All three glamour clubs. I wouldn't care even if we didn't win the grand final after that. Mazdad's asking us to play the chicken song. Now, we're not actually allowed to play the chicken song, Mazdad, because YouTube pulled us up, Franco, so I don't think I should play that. Yeah,
maybe because you played it for too long.
Maybe because I played it for too long. Should we? Well, we can play it, can't we?
No. We buried them. No chicken song.
We buried them. No, well, you know what song we can play? Goodbye, restart. Mazdad gives 3 points to Ronnie, 2 points to Toby, 1 to Burns, and Chris Camilleri. I think this is a well done. Get to play one more game this year as the Sharks song belts out in the background. Franco, how much did you enjoy that game out of 10?
I don't think I enjoyed that game much, to be honest. At least not until Toby went over and scored. So look, I didn't. I'm going to be conservative here. I'm going to give that a 7.5 because I know you're a half fan. So 7.5 for me. And look, it was one of those. Was it Mazdad there that said never in doubt. Look, when we were behind on the scoreboard at the beginning, 4-0, I was pretty confident that we would get the lead at some point. And then once we did get the lead, I was more nervous about hanging on to the lead than I was about us playing catch-up football. So it was an interesting one. But yeah, 7.5 for me.
I'm giving it a solid 9.5, Franco. That's one of the great games at Shark Park. One of the more memorable ones. I thought it was absolutely terrific. And my Sharkies played very, 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 very well. I'll give you my 3-2-1s first, Franco. So I'm going to go... I'm going to have to go top to bottom. I thought Cronulla Blake was brilliant, actually. I thought his hit-ups and what he did for us was 3. I'm going to say 2 to Ronaldo because he got us the tries. And I'm going to say 1 point. Didn't have many minutes, but Britton Nickera, you saved the day and saved the bacon when you came on and you gave us exactly what we needed. And that gets you 1 point. So that's my 3-2-1. Franco?
Yeah, look, I was happy to see, I think it was Mazdad, give him a 1. Burns gets 1 point from me. We haven't really spoken about him much this podcast. We've spoken about how good Nickera was. Wilton was also quite solid, bled for the game. Certainly had a great game as well. But look, if we were struggling salary cap wise, I think giving Burns one of their spots, controversially, would probably be a good way of saving some cap space. I don't think we lose too much. If I had to pick in a pinch, I'd probably give him Wilton's spot because we all know I love Nickera. But look, Burns was really good. He just shows he's got that extra dimension to his game. He's an effort player, does all the little things right, and I really enjoyed what he's brought to the team the last few weeks. So yeah, he gets my 1 point. My 2 points go to look, I'm going to give Trindle the 2 points. He did a lot of things right. I don't think he was as dominant a half as the Fox Sports commentary and panel made out. They made it sound as though Nico was a bit of a passenger and that it was all Trindle. I don't quite agree with that. I think it was a little bit more even-handed than that. But yeah, Trindle does get my 2 points. And then my 3 points goes to Adam Blake. Yeah, he gets my 3 as well. Just for that second stint when he came back on. I don't think he did anything remarkable in his first stint. He just held the ship steady. But that second stint when he came on, yeah, he turned the tide. It was amazing.
All right, there you go. I think I found the comment that I want to make the best comment, Franco. So I think I might award it tonight. Is that all right?
I'm sure. Go for it.
All right.
I think I know what the one.
Do you know which one I'm going to pick?
I think I do.
All right. The winner of the best comment this week is Glenn Thompson for this one. How long for this podcast? It's just Franco. We will be here until next week's game. Absolutely loving it. That's right, Tomo. So you go in the draw. Is that the one you're thinking I was picking a pick?
It's not actually, but yes, it's a good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tomo. All right, Sharks fans. Sharkies get the job done. 20 points to 10 in an epic, memorable finals victory over the Sydney Rorting Roosters. So next week, the Sharkies will go on to play on Sunday, either against the Canberra Raiders or the Brisbane Broncos. We will be live, 8:30 p.m. Tuesday night, previewing it all, getting the rundown from Williams, hearing around the league from Chris Kelly, and also getting all the social news from Lats. Franco will be with me. I'm David Bolderman. That was Stephen Franklin. That was an amazing Cronulla Sharks team. And in the words of this comment, I'm just going to leave this one on the screen. That's all I've got to say from my dear friend, Scott Latino. I agree with that comment. Up, Cronulla. See you guys on Tuesday night. Yeah, the boys.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.